Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I am here to film, finally, a TBR for Tome Topple because we're finally getting around. I've been waiting for a round of Tome Topple for a very long time, basically since the last one, because I have a lot of tomes on my TBR and there's some that I've been specifically saving for this readathon because it's my favorite readathon. So let's get into the TBR. The first challenge is to read more than one tome. So for that, I have picked The Death and Life of Zebulon Finch by Daniel Kraus. This is a book that's been on my TBR for too long and I've never even touched it. So it's the first book in a duology and I really don't know much more than that. I probably knew the synopsis at one point, but so all I know is literally the tagline on the back, and that says Zebulon Finch is 17 years old. He has been 17 years old for over a century. Which sounds very Twilight-y, but I think this is very different than Twilight, so we'll see. The next challenge is to read a graphic novel over 500 pages, and I'm most likely not going to do that one. I don't normally do that challenge because I don't like omnibuses or any of the graphic novels I've ever read that are over 500 pages I've kind of hated. So I think I just don't like graphic novels in that format, so gonna skip that one. The next challenge is to read a book that's part of a series, and like all of the books on my TBR are part of a series, so the one I went with, or I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with, is The Black Prison by Brent Weeks. I've started this before. I got 56 pages in and I really wasn't a huge fan of the writing, so I decided to get on Overdrive on my library phone app and found the audiobook on there. So I think I'm gonna audiobook this one during the 2 weeks and hopefully be able to get through it, because I do own like the entire series and that's kind of scary and disappointing because I have not liked what I've read so far. I really like the premise of the magic system, but like I really wasn't a fan of the characters from what I read, so we'll see if this grows on me. But if I don't read that one, I will probably listen to Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab on audio, which is also through Overdrive, because I've been having issues with Victoria Schwab books. I'm unhauling all of the ones that I did own. The only one I can't bring myself to unhaul is this Savage Song, because I really enjoyed it when I read it, but that was a while ago and before I had so many issues with her writing, and I even remember things about that one I didn't like. So I'm scared to even buy Our Dark Duet because I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up unhauling it, so I think I'm just going to listen to it on audio. Next up is to buddy read a tome, and me and Kate already had 2 buddy reads planned for this time period before we knew there was going to be a Tome Topple, so the one we've already started and will still be reading next week most likely is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is fantastic so far and I can't wait to read more of it. We'll probably be finishing up this around the beginning of Tome Topple. And then the one that I feel like everybody is reading for this readathon is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I've been specifically waiting for a Tome Topple to read this thing because it's huge, it's high fantasy, there's a lot going on, it's Brandon Sanderson, and I need to get started on this series because there's 3 of them now and I haven't even started it. They're so big. And it looks dense, but I feel like it's probably not as dense as I think it's gonna be. And I'm just scared of it because it's huge, but I'm very excited to start in on this series finally. But me and Kate will be buddy reading these 2. And then the last challenge is to read an adult book, which I think all of those are adult books, but just to pick another book for this, I picked Desperation by Stephen King. 1, because I love this cover. 2, this is about the highway, the stretch of highway in Nevada known as the loneliest road in the world or something like that, and it's a horror novel set there, and it's giant. Even for a Stephen King book, it's huge. So I I've been wanting to read this for quite a while, and Stephen King is kind of a slower read for me usually. When I've read 2 of his books and they take me like a couple weeks to read, so I think I could probably get this done in 2 weeks. And my library does have the audio if I'm going too slowly with this, so I might check it out on audio as well. And if I'm not in the mood for slow-paced Stephen King, I did pick The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell as another option. I know nothing about this book except that I think it has something to do with psychics. And I think it's classified as literary fiction, but I'm assuming with like a sci-fi element or some sort of paranormal element, I don't know. But this is another option for the adult novel category. This is my TBR for Tome Topple, which looking at it now is insanely overambitious. But hopefully I will get most, if not all, of these read in the 2-week time period. I don't think I actually said. It runs from June 29th to July 13th? July 12th. So, and if you didn't know, I assume most people know what Tome Topple is, but it's run by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and there's a bunch of co-hosts for it, and Sam's been really busy, which is why they haven't had around. But I'm so excited that it's back, and I'm so excited to read some of my bigger books, because I've literally been waiting on almost all of these for a Tome Topple. I can barely pick these up. But thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.